It's time for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Brood Awakening Coffee, with 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, Highway 62 412 at Balmer Boulevard, and the Walmart East Plaza. And now, Down on the Corner.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. It's Friday,
Woo-hoo!
January 4th, 2019.
You can hear the rain in the background.
No, it's not a rain soundtrack. It's
live.
It's live. Is it live or is it Memorex? You remember those commercials?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on. Is it live or is it Memorex? Oh, goodness.
I don't want to date myself.
Anyway, good morning and welcome to Down on the Corner. Dale Hoffman, your host. Along with Scooter Callis. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
We're already through the first week almost of January of 2019.
Yep, we are. Had a bunch of stuff to pack up today, and
yeah, you got wrestling down in Conway and Russellville.
Yep. And so I had to do a few trips to the car, and I got done, and I was soaked. It was raining first thing this morning.
Wasn't it nice, though? I woke up about 2:15 and I thought, oh, wow, that sounds so good. And I think, yeah, I've got 3 more hours to sleep, so smile and roll over, you know.
I forgot to mute my phone here.
Mute your phone, Scooter.
Hint.
Okay, I'll do mine, too. Picky director.
Yours is the one that goes off.
Picky. Mike.
Who is calling you while you're doing a live show?
Well, we hope your Friday morning's off to a great start. Just think we got another 2 days off after today, so we get done, and lo and behold, we got Saturday and Sunday.
Off. My days are never off.
Anyway, hey, we're enjoying Brood Awakening Coffee. You can do the same thing. As you heard in the introduction, we've got Balmer Boulevard, which is going to be busy now. It's 7:02. Kids are back in school. They started back yesterday, so Balmer Boulevard is going to be busy right now between 9 and 8 o'clock. We've got Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby. Then we got 62 East Plaza out by Anytime Fitness out in the Walmart complex. And so 3 locations where you can pick up Brood Awakening Coffee, 2 drive-thrus and 1 walk-in over there at the hospital. And the hospital's got a great little concave right there, and they've got everything right there.
Almost was a drive-thru.
Yeah. 10 to 20 on that one.
Guy's still in jail.
But yeah, Brood Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. And check them out. The menu board is just huge. They've got all flavors, all blends, mochas, lattes, you name it, they've got it.
For those that were here yesterday, you will notice there's something missing. We were told there would be cinnamon rolls this morning.
Okay.
I just want that put out.
All right. Bring out the paper bag so my face don't glow red on the screen. Ran out of time. I forgot all about it. I got busy at the house and all kinds of stuff. Man.
What all do you got going on that you run out of time? You want to look at your schedule and my schedule?
Well, it was busy. Let me tell you, it was busy.
Anyway, moving on.
Brood Awakening Coffee, best coffee in town. If you're not drinking Brood Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. Right?
There you go.
All right. Morning prayer brought to you by Roller Funeral Homes of North Central Arkansas. And people keep asking, when the kids come back? We're going to talk to the Christ Academy and see what they want to do. Normally they stop around Christmas and they pick it up again around March, but a lot of people are saying, we love to have the kids on, Well, in the wintertime, it can be a little bit of an extra burden on the families. Get your coat and cap and hats and boots and everything else if it's like can you imagine that? Well, we're going to talk to them and see what they want to work out. But anyway, morning prayer by Roller Funeral Homes. Can't say enough good things about Roller Funeral Homes, especially here in Mountain Home. Be sure to talk to Bruce or Brad or Chris or anyone out there. Get your pre-arranging done. Holidays are over, and I know that's a far thought right now, but you never know. But Roller Funeral Homes across the state of Arkansas, right here in Mountain Home, top-notch people. Very professional, caring, loving, helpful, and whatever you need, they're going to bend over backwards to serve you. Roller Funeral Homes, they bring you the morning prayer each and every day. So let's pause now for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, it seems like the Democrats are moving backwards. Nancy Pelosi, really? Is that all they have? Let's look at the facts. They messed up health care under Obamacare. Prices went so high. But now, no mandate. That'll save families thousands in tax penalties. Unemployment at record lows, meaning more people working to earn a living. Gas prices are low, but then they fuss about a wall to build on the Mexican border. Go to Nashville, Tennessee and drive around a country music artist home. A wall or a fence with cameras. Prisons have walls. Do they work? Of course. Then there's gun control. Democrats, ban the gun, stop crime, stop murder. Yeah, right. That stunt would cause the black market profits to skyrocket. Lord, overall, we need common sense in the House and Senate. We need these people to stop opposing the president and work together. If you don't like the president's idea, come up with a better plan. Lord, we the people are tired of all this from both parties. My prayer today is you guide the House of Representatives and the Senate and help them come up with good, common sense solutions. And that's my prayer today. Amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes. Right?
Now, dun, dun, dun.
Hey, you tuned and oiled that thing. Woo. Got it out in the rain, it works better. Morning weather brought by Old Time Restaurant on the Square at Mountain Home. Old Time Restaurant. Best breakfast, best lunch in town. Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, Saturday till 11 a.m. And the special today, let me guess, is going to be hamburger steak?
No, it is Friday.
Okay.
Steak day.
Steak day, okay.
Yeah, you got a marinated sirloin steak you can cut with a butter knife, eggs, hash browns, biscuits, and gravy, all for $8.88. And she's changing it up for lunch today. She is doing spaghetti and meatballs. Comes with extra side and a roll of cornbread, and it's for only $6.88, so you can't beat it.
Very good.
It'll
Old Time Restaurant on the Square at Mountain
good meal today.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get by there.
Yeah, very good. Wow. Old Time Restaurant on the Square at Mountain Home, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2. Saturday mornings till 11 a.m. They bring you the morning weather each and every day. Right now, if you can't hear it, we do have rain. We got a pretty good little shower going on in Mountain Home. It's 36 in Mountain Home and Harrison, 39 in Hardy, 39 in Mountain View, 37 in Yellville. Marshall checks in at 39, while Calico Rock's at 36. St. Louis is down to 33. A little bit warmer at Poplar Bluff where it's 39, 36 at Branson, 34 at West Plains. And in contrast, Watford City, North Dakota is basically the same temperature all along. It's 34 there, just 2 degrees difference between here and there. And what that is, that's that warm weather that's moved all the way up through the mid part of the country that's made a difference here. But we got something odd on the radar. We're going to pull up that radar stop on the national scene. You can see it along the Arkansas-Missouri border. It actually stretches from basically Tulsa all the way across northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, touches the southern tip of Illinois, western Kentucky, western Tennessee. There's a break in the action on the Tennessee-Kentucky line north of Nashville. Then it continues all the way back. We've got a line of showers from the panhandle of Florida, covering Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, parts of Virginia, eastern Tennessee, going all the way up into Kentucky, and may even touch the southern tip of Ohio once it gets past the West Virginia line there. So
I was looking at it earlier, and it was all headed kind of northeast, but now you can see that swirl right there between Arkansas and Missouri where it's kind of swirling back and keeping it on there for us for a while.
Here's the Little Rock stop right here, and you can see the line of showers. Of course, it's stretching farther than what the sweep of the radar will pick up, but I'm going to put this in motion. And most generally, we will see the rain showers come in from the southwest to the northeast, but this is actually coming from the east and coming across the northern part of the state and curving south-southwest. It's kind of an odd pattern, but you can see the low-pressure swirl that's basically over Heber Springs or Clinton, but you know, in the middle of that, that's where that swirl is at.
If we would have stayed on track, we would have already been out of the weather and already been over. But now
this
that
rain
it's
is being sucked in by that low pressure. And so you can see the swirl as far down as El Dorado, Arkansas. You can see now it's down there. It's moving at the 6 o'clock position. It's now moving east. So you've got that counterclockwise swirl, kind of a rare thing. But you can see Highway 62, 412 east and west, all the way across northern part of the state affected. I-49 affected by this. Branson, Highway 65 to Branson from Little Rock is affected by this as well. North of Batesville, between Batesville and Poplar Bluff, between Jonesboro and Poplar Bluff, Missouri, it's affected. Interstate 40 and 30 not affected too much by this at all. Interstate 55, it doesn't seem like on this particular radar stop. I'll check it here in a minute when we go to the other radar stops. But like I say, this is out of that swirl or out of the sweep of that radar. Oh, let's see. Let me back up here and go. I'm gonna try to hit that Memphis stop. Okay, taking a look at Memphis. Yeah, you can see it all the way back to Poplar Bluff, Dexter, Cape Girardeau, back into Paducah, Kentucky, back to Jackson, Tennessee. So Interstate 555 not affected, and 55 is not affected till you get up into the Boot Heel of Missouri. It's at the 155 junction where it's affected. And so, there it is. Let's hit that St. Louis stop and see where it's at in St. Louis. Whew. Wow, look at that north of Poplar Bluff. A lot of rain just to the west of Cape Girardeau, Centerville, Missouri. That is affecting Interstate 55 from Sykeston up through Cape. And that goes all the way back to Lebanon, just south of I-44. Wow, there's a lot of rain right there. I-70 from Columbia to St. Louis not affected, and 70 east from St. Louis, Vandalia, Effingham to spotted showers in Illinois. East St. Louis, Illinois, I-64 to Mount Vernon in good shape there. They're going to be getting some spotted showers, and this might possibly, if it moves a little bit north, could be affected there as well. Southwest Missouri will hit that Springfield stop, and you can see Tulsa, Joplin, North Arkansas, Fayetteville, just south of Springfield. I-44 not affected real bad right now, but it should get a little bit. Oh man, it's just skirting south of I-44. Kansas City east on 70 to Columbia in good shape there. Wow, a lot of rain. 7-day forecast for today: 70% chance of showers today, dropping to a 40% chance. High of 48 degrees, low tonight 34. Tomorrow, sunshiny skies and 61 degrees. Saturday night, low of 38. Sunday, high of 60 with sunshine. Then Sunday night, it turns into a 30% chance of showers. Monday morning, 50% chance of showers, and still a high of 63 degrees with that rain. Tuesday, a high of 60. Man, I don't like that weather. Let's see if it extends down here. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 55, a little bit cooler on Wednesday, but we got some nice weather moving in for the first part of January.
We do.
They did update the drought monitor. State of Arkansas has a very low drought right now. Abnormally dry in Crawford, Washington, and Benton counties there. And this is not really severe. This is just a D0, abnormally dry, which today should end that. So when they update it on the 10th of January, there will be a difference there. State of Missouri, the same thing. This had already stretched last week all the way up to Missouri River. But now you just have McDonald, Berry, Newton, Lawrence, Jasper, and Barton counties in Missouri with the D0, and that's just trailing up north. Really not hurting there at all. The Missouri Department of Transportation traveler's map in Missouri. All highways are clear. We do have on I-44, looks like an accident. Utility damage on Route M, westbound, no problems on 44. I thought that might be I-44. State of Arkansas. We have an accident, it looks like in Fayetteville on I-49 at exit 69 there. And here we have a down power line in St. Francis County in Arkansas. You can go to iDrive Arkansas and you can hit all your border states: Oklahoma, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Missouri. That's iDrive Arkansas for the state of Arkansas, and MoDOT, M-O-D-O-T, traveler information for the state of Missouri. And so, morning weather is brought to you by Old Time Restaurant on the Square in Mountain Home. Old Time Restaurant, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, 11 on Saturday.
Go in and give Amanda a hard time.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I encourage everybody to do.
Grab her, throw it out in the rain, and lock the door. Get her wet.
I don't know about all that.
She's going to charge me double for breakfast in the morning.
I don't know about all that.
Anyway, community calendar brought to you by Affordable Housing, 870-741-2883. And you've got wrestling in Conway and some wrestling going on in Russellville.
Yeah, the high school, we're leaving out today right after school. I headed down to Conway. We'll be wrestling down there in a big tournament. It's got 15 schools in it, so it'll be a pretty good-sized tournament. And the youth team on Saturday is traveling. We got 18 kids going to Russellville to compete in a big tournament down there. And then we've got a handful on Sunday that are going to be headed up to Ozark, Missouri to compete in a novice tournament that they got going on up there. So
there you go.
It's going to be a busy weekend.
Other things in community calendar: Bruner Hill Water Association will hold its annual membership meeting on Saturday, which is tomorrow from 10 a.m. at the Jordan Fire Station on Jordan Road. There will be election of 2 board members. All association members are invited to attend this meeting. Bingo at the Bull Shoals VFW Post 1341. That takes place on January 7th, which is Monday from 12 to 4. Bingo at Bull Shoals VFW is held every Monday at the VFW Hall. Bingo begins at noon. Doors open at 10:30. Food and snacks for purchase. located at 1206 Central Boulevard in Bull Shoals. For more information, 870-445-4501. And let's see, January 8th, First United Methodist Church women to meet. The United Methodist Women of First United Methodist Church of Mountain Home are scheduled to meet at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, January 8th, at the Gathering Room, room 205. The Baxter County Clerk Kanda Reese will be the guest speakers on voters update. Sandra Bainbridge, UMW Treasurer, will give the pledge service. The hostess of the Quarter Night Lights will offer light refreshments. Meeting is open to all women of the community. So it'll be a nice little event there from 1 to 2:30 on January 8th, United Methodist Women General Meeting. Affordable housing brings you the community calendar each and every day. Time for a quick break. Revisiting with Mountain Home Public Schools, as we always do on a Friday. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant, located on the square in Mountain Home.
Our old burger was only 7 ounces, but now it's 8 with brioche bun and pickles. Comes with its own steak knife, it's really that big. Your best competition is always yourself. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. We're focused on one thing, burgers, ribs, fajitas. Just that one thing, burgers, ribs, and fajitas. We're reeling in our menu because it got out of hand. We had a moment of self-actualization. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
It's that time of year again. Time to take a hard look at your Medicare health plan. If you're looking for a new plan or looking to renew your existing plan, now's the time to renew all your options. At VACO Insurance, we'll sit down with you and show you all the new choices and options, including $0 premium plans with low copays and dental, vision, and hearing benefits. Let us help take the confusion out of selecting a plan and find one catered to your needs. Contact VACO Insurance today, located at 351 East 9th Street, Suite B in Mountain Home.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Whether you're a professional lawnscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn & Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn & Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area.
Life is too short to wear boring clothes. Welcome to Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique, where we carry the latest trends and fashions and accessories at prices anyone can enjoy. Feel beautiful while looking fabulous with a large range of fashions that fits anyone's sense of style. You're sure to discover something unique and new at every visit. Shabby to Chic also features 12 professional stylists, aesthetics by Amy J, a nail technician, and 4 tanning beds. Excite your style at Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique in Mountain Home.
719, visit with Ron Czanstkowski, Mountain Home Public Schools, and welcome, Happy New Year. And
yes, Happy New Year to you guys also, and to all our community members and family and friends out there. And we're glad to have the kids back at school.
Yep.
We're glad to have them back in school.
He's our
you know, and if truth were told by the kids, they're going to be back to school also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because they got a little different situation there, and they got, you know, their friends and activities that they don't get to do while they're on break sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
So now, the biggest question you're ever going to be asked in your life:
oh, no.
Clemson or Alabama?
It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm going to pull for Alabama because I'm an SEC fan, but you know, the talent level is just so amazing that whoever makes that one mistake is going to lose. You know, and I'm going to say that game's going to be lost more so than won by somebody.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
I have
point.
to agree with that.
Ooh, never thought of that.
I have to agree
We
with
should
that.
have got Bob Rector.
You start getting at teams like that, you already know they're competing at that level, and it's gonna boil down to the little mistakes.
So turnovers will be a big factor.
Turnover would be a killer.
Yeah.
And
Penalties.
Absolutely. Even coaching little kid baseball and football. Even 8th, 9th, 10th grade. Yeah. When you get to a high enough level, it's still more games are lost than won because that one mistake you can't make. So just imagine the talent level of both those teams, how that's magnified. With
it's like in wrestling, they start getting up to the state and the national levels. A lot of them are won by 1 or 2 points. So it's right? Like what you're willing to give up, it can be worse than what you're wanting to gain. You know what I'm saying? It's not always about the points you get, it's what you're willing to give up, and it's about those little mistakes that somebody's there to capitalize on, and it may just be 1 point. It may, you never know.
Right.
And Ron, and we go back long time working the baseball programs and some of the football programs, and I think you've seen kids excel. Your son, example, I think is he a pitcher?
Yeah, he's a pitcher at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte.
Yeah.
But they're in the Conference USA with Rice and Southern Miss and Louisiana Tech and a bunch of other schools. But there's been a ton of kids that have been as successful or more so than he's been. And it's just been really cool to see it in multiple sports, but not just sports, also the band, the choir, the agricultural areas. I mean, there's robotics. I mean, there's been so many things happen for our kids around here.
What's your biggest thrill that you've seen over the last, say, 20 years in education and coaching? Because you've been in the front office, you've been in the principal's office, you've been in the classroom, and yet you've been on the baseball field, the football field, possibly the soccer field. What's your biggest thrill? What's your fondest memory of some of this?
I guess the fondest memories, if you talk about personal stuff, it's nice to win a state championship and all that.
Yeah.
But really, that's just something that happens, and you've got nice things on the wall, and it's always going to be great to have, don't get me wrong. But really, the coolest thing is I was also a student here, from grade 6 through 12. And just the opportunities that are afforded to the kids that want to get a hold of them. And, if I could say one thing right now about that, if the families would just call and ask. There's so many things out there for the kids. They just have to call and ask. A lot of times they don't call because they don't know to call, or they think the school's like it was when they were in school.
Yeah.
And I have the opportunity to see the change because I've been part of the change. And there's been a lot of amazing people out there. And not that it's perfect, not that we have everything right all the time.
But you guys work every day to improve every situation.
Oh, absolutely. And it's never with a bad intent.
Yeah.
Although sometimes we mess things up, it's not like we wake up have something bad happen, but, they're really, I was talking to 3 families yesterday that were ready to try to do something different with school, and I said, well, have you thought about a couple of things I threw out there? And they said, we had no idea. And I said, well, remember, school's not like it was when you were in school. I mean, not even if you were in school 5 years ago, was it like it was? For sure. There's other opportunities out there that could still involve the public school while you have some more control at home with your kids.
Okay, let's go back to University of Alabama. I've asked this to several people. When these teams are playing Alabama, there's a certain fear factor. We can't beat those. We can't go up against, and we've seen it even in 12-year-old baseball. We can't play them because they're so good. Okay, let's put this back in education. Is there a stigma that I can't go to the University of Arkansas, or I can't go to Ouachita, or I can't go to Southern Missouri? Is there a stigma that somebody would actually think we're not as good as they are and can't?
I'm going to say
the
stigma might be more of a self-defeating prophecy.
Yeah.
Where and really, honestly, the kids' grades, and when I was the junior high principal the last 7 years, excuse me, I spent quite a bit of time talking with the overall student body, and I would just flat out tell them and ask them the question: are your grades a reflection of your actual ability or your effort? And almost every kid, like 99.9% of the kids are going to say, well, it's my effort. I get lazy and I don't do my work and I don't study and all that. If our kids just do what they're supposed to do, they'll succeed anywhere they want to go. To whatever level they can get to. We all have different gifts and abilities and talents, but it's there for them at every school around here. It's not just Mountain Home. All of our schools do a wonderful job getting kids ready if they'll do what they're supposed to do. So I think that mentality's there. That I can't go to the U of A because, but it's not academics. Now money might be a problem for people, and that's unfortunate because it's very expensive to go to a lot of the bigger state schools. But I just really feel like it's more of a self-defeating situation. Like, they go back to Alabama.
Yeah.
I think the teams going in know they can make so few mistakes that they cancel themselves out while they play. You know, they don't play to win; they play not to make a mistake. And then you got a team like them that wears them out. You know, and I think it goes back to the education part. The kids at any school that really get after it, that always try, that always do what they're supposed to do, are going to have a better chance when they get to a Fayetteville or ASU or Missouri State or UCA or ASU Mountain Home for that matter. It doesn't matter what school.
One of the things you got to keep in mind is why sports were introduced into school systems and what it is actually to benefit that child in every area, in academics and everything. You
Absolutely.
learn from sports, is one of the big things is you're going to work for what you get. I mean, nothing's handed to you when you're in sports. You will have to work and earn everything you get, which the same thing's going to apply to your academics. If you get lazy and you get where you're not turning stuff in, and that's what we see a lot as coaches, and we have to address, because they need to apply the same things that they're learning in the sports as they are in the rest of their life in the academics and everything else, because it's about what you're willing to put in is what you're going to get out of it.
Well, I remember kids in baseball, they'd stand in the batter's box and they just hold the bat. They either walked or struck out. They never swung a bat. You've seen that.
Mm-hmm. Happens in high school too.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but it does. Yeah, and I agree with what you said about that's why they're introduced, but that's also why agri and robotics and choir and drama and and all those offending consumer science. The kids that show cattle, that is a commitment is just as deep as any athletic commitment that there ever existed.
Some of them kids are up at 4:30, quarter to 5,
and
taking care of that.
But the band has similar situations. The ones that really dive in get the most out of it. And again, if some of the parents and kids, if they can't dive in for reasons besides their own, like whether it's money or time or other stuff or resources, sometimes we can help with that, but they got to tell us. I mean, we can't read minds, and see what's going on.
But what about self-discipline? How do you show the importance of self-discipline?
I think the best way to do it is to live it, to model it as teachers and principals and parents and coaches and everybody. If secretaries, doesn't make any difference. If they see consistent, persistent effort everywhere they go, eventually that has to rub off on the kids that are looking around, and having trouble, and no 100% magic bullet anytime for anything, but I think we have to model that stuff all the time for the kids, because there's only one way to do it, and that's by trying all the time.
Because I think even as adults, I'm guilty of it. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done in 2, 3, 4 days. Finally, just get in, get it done, and then after you get into it, and you think, well, this ain't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
We just we've all been there.
We just tell the kids, and each other, always try really hard and always care. If you do those two things, you're going to be in good shape no matter what happens. Even if you don't do well, everybody's going to know you really tried and you really cared. And people are going to help each other. They extend more grace to each other when they know you try and care. But if you don't try and don't care,
that's true.
then there's not much help out there for you, and people don't just go out of their way to do anything for folks that don't do for themselves.
Wow, boy, good points. Wow.
We are blessed in the one area, and he brought up is the amount of activities that are available right here in Mountain Home. I bring up the sports because that's a lot of what I'm involved in, and the sad part is sports are what usually gets the limelight. As far as the people filming and people broadcasting this and that, but all the different stuff, almost whatever you got to be involved in, there's an outside activities from robotics and agri and all these things, and all these things can do the same thing as far as building that child and helping that child to learn how to set goals and reach them, and they all help with building self-confidence. They all help with all the things that will benefit the child. And I agree with you. I think a lot of people don't realize how much is offered in different areas in these schools.
Have you ever just sat down with a student and said, okay, I want you to write down 3 goals, and you've got 30 days to meet these goals? Have you ever challenged somebody like that?
Yes, but our advisors do that at the high school and junior high, and the homeroom teachers, which is like advisory for the younger grades. That's the constant battle is the short-term, long-term goals. And you got to throw yourself a bone. don't have such lofty long-term goals and have no short-term goals to celebrate along the way. Otherwise, you're always not where you want to be and all that.
Right,
So,
right.
But that takes time to learn. It's one of those things you have to model and help correct and everything. And so I do see that a lot.
Wow.
In not just the academic side, but also the extracurricular side, that goes along. The ROTC is another example.
There you go. Yeah.
FBLA. If student council. Those kids put in an enormous amount of work, like all year long, not just when school's in session. And I'm trying to hit some of the highlights because I tell the kids and parents that will ask the questions. There are about 10 or 11 programs in our school or our area that you have to be involved in at least one of them. 2 would be better, 3 is too much because you can't commit that much to 3 different places. And I don't have the list in front of me, I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's a ton of activities that are great to do, but there's only like 10 or 11 or 12 that you have to have some foot in the door on those because it's accountability to yourself and others. If I don't do well, it hurts you. If you don't do well, it hurts me. So that's kind of stuff you have to be in. And that's why the athletics and the fine arts have done so well, because that's that mutual accountability where you have to perform not just for yourself, but for the overall group as a whole.
There you go. Wow, good points. 7:31, visiting Ron Czanstkowski, Mountain Home Public Schools. Be right back after the break.
When I grow up, I want to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations. I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
Why would I recommend Hospice of the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
When you need dirt. .35 is in Ron Czanstkowski Mountain Home Public Schools, and of course yesterday was the first day back after the Christmas break, and I can remember those days when I was in grade school. You think, I don't want to get up and go back, and play with my Christmas stuff, but already the newness of the Christmas gifts has worn off, so to speak, and the kids are ready for a routine. And I know yesterday and today are going to be kind of getting them reestablished in that routine, but January, February, March, that's some really solid months. Of strong academics.
As long as weather helps us out, that helps a bunch. I think a lot of the kids like to come back to school and share what their Christmas was like too.
Yeah.
Now remember, they've got a lot of social media that we didn't have when we were kids to to take pictures and share ahead of time, because we had to wait till school got back in session. But getting back in order, how you think about it, it's a fresh start right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had great habits all last semester and you did your job as a kid and a teacher and a parent, then you just keep going and just reestablish yourself and go. If you had a bad first semester as a teacher, kid, or parent, or an administrator, you have a fresh start here. It really does start over. Many of our classes at the high school and junior high are semester-long courses. So it literally is a brand new course, maybe a brand new teacher. So you have a chance to, just to refresh and renew and revitalize yourself and all that, and invigorate yourself again. And then the next 3 months, though, that's when make or hay now. Every day matters. I mean, every day's important in school and in life in general. But, this is the stretch run for our academic state championship. Our state exams, our ACT, SAT, the AP exams for the seniors, trying to get their college credit.
What's AP?
Advanced placement coursework where they get college credit if they score high enough on the exams that they give in May. So there's a whole lot of stuff that can happen to benefit kids in the stretch run if they'll put the time in, and we work together with the teachers and principals and all that stuff.
It's just amazing the opportunities. Now you've got the Mountain Home Education Foundation that can offer the ASU program.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that we haven't talked about yet. But I mean, what a blessing.
And what Molly Morgan has done with that organization and their staff, and just what's going on there. I mean,
but the opportunity to work not closely with them, but I've had a chance to go to quite a few of their meetings of the actual board and all that. And those men and women just work their tails off for these kids, and just amazing what they do and how they do it. And of course, you're seeing the fruits of their labor, with all the stuff that the kids have an opportunity to do now.
Yeah. When you were a student at Mountain Home, did you ever think that you'd step back into the different roles that you've had? And I think it was, I forget, one of the coaches was here that was also a Mountain Home bomber here, went on to William Baptist, I forget what it was. But the importance of having graduates of Mountain Home High School come back and step into roles of leadership. Because to me, you're proud of what you did at Mountain Home as a student. Now you can be a faculty member and lead kids to do better than what you did, perhaps.
Oh yeah, that definitely is a factor. I think it's a healthy balance. We need to have people come back that have institutional knowledge. Would cut open and bleed blue and gold because they are from here. But we also need the folks from out of town, out of state. To have fresh ideas and all that. So I think a nice mixture of those two things is what we need. And that's with our kids too, and our families. We need a lot of diversity to come in to give us those ideas that we would never think of, because that's how we've always done it. Maybe that's okay, but maybe it's not okay anymore. But yeah, it's I never thought I'd be a teacher ever, in high school. When I left here, I wasn't going to teach. I wasn't going to I thought I might coach someday, but I wasn't going to teach.
What was your dream? Was it in education, or was it outside the?
No, I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
Yeah,
and that's how I started college with that mindset and played ball all the way through. But I'm here, and I didn't make a single penny.
What team would you have signed with?
Any.
yeah, even the Cubs.
But that being said, I never did. So that tells you, you have to have a plan B, and actually athletics should have been my plan B or C to start with. But my parents were great, and I was surrounded by good people. always made the grades, and that's what we're trying to instill in our kids. Your grades will always follow you. When you get a diploma in high school or junior college or your 4-year school, that's actual property that you own that they can't take away from you ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it follows you everywhere you go. Where your body can give away and start failing you as you get older, your mind and your academics can carry you a long way, and that opens up more doors. And that's all we always tell the kids. You want to have as many doors to open as possible whenever you get out of the school system.
And then you can choose whatever to walk through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if this door doesn't work, you close it and you go to some other door because it's still open because you did the work ahead of time.
Yeah.
But if you focus on only one thing, you got 1 or 2 doors ready to go and that's it. When it doesn't work, now you're lost and don't know what to do. And and so
did you ever think that technology would be so prevalent and so important in a school classroom? When I'm thinking back to, I'm going back to like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and I was in St. Clair County, Illinois, which is the first county east of St. Louis, Missouri, if you're coming through on Interstate 64. Mm-hmm. It was a great school. The schools were fabulous, but now, boys and girls, you need to get out your social studies book, and we're going to do chapter 3 today. You need to get out your math book, you need to get out your history book, and everything. There's no computer, and then we're going to have a movie. They'd roll in a Bell & Howell 16mm projector, and normally I'd be the one that have to thread the machine. You had to push this lever here, thread the film in, and turn this on and set the sound, and then you had to take the projector back to the library. There was no TV screens, there's nothing like this, no computers. Everything was pen and pencil. Everything was pen and pencil.
And now students have laptops.
No, as a kid or even a first-year teacher, when I was in 1991, 92 school years, my first year of working as a teacher here, never would have dreamed. I still had chalk and I had colored chalk on a chalkboard to show how graphs would change and move and all that. I taught mathematics. And so by the time I got out, we had some graphing calculators that were amazing. The difference we could do with a kid was amazing. And then, of course, I got into administration, and then it just started going haywire since then, which is also tough, though, because it changes so fast that your kids and teachers can never get or have a hard time getting a solid footing on how to use it before something new comes out.
Yeah.
So we got to balance the new fancy stuff and what's actually working for kids, and teachers in the classroom.
But I tend to be a little old-fashioned, and I like antiques. You can see my old radio and tape recorder over here that's on display here, and I appreciate the old technology, but yet the importance of a textbook. I still like to I've still got some of my old books, Ron, and I like to look. My favorite part of history is the Kennedy assassination because I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 5 years old, and I can remember it. But I like looking physically at a book and turning page by page. Is that going to go away in the future?
I think it'll take maybe a generation or so more still, because I still like to have a book in my hand.
Yeah.
But when helping my son or daughter when they were in college, they had a textbook online.
Really?
So they had the textbook that you had. It's just on their Chromebook or their laptop, or their iPad that they just swipe, and they turn pages by swiping, not by actually grabbing a page. So I think it's still there, just not in the same format. But I couldn't follow it and help my children when they need help in chemistry or physics or something like that.
Right.
But as soon as they gave me a book, I was back home and safe, and it was all right. But I would say maybe 10, 12 years or so, it's going to be more the swiping goes and all that kind of stuff. But it's still the same knowledge. I mean, I just saw on Twitter, follow this guy on Twitter, educational guy, and he said knowledge used to be power. If you had knowledge, you had power. Everybody's got knowledge now. Google, what's this? Google, what's that?
Oh yeah.
Google, who's the third president? So now power is not knowledge. Power is being able to coordinate the knowledge you have, and to do what you want to do with that. Hopefully something very positive. To benefit society. You remember World Book Encyclopedia? Absolutely.
Encyclopedia Britannica. When I have to do a report, 3rd, 4th grade. Well, Dale, you need to do a report on the history of the dollar bill. You'd go get your encyclopedia and you'd look up M for money, and and it was interesting stuff. I mean, we had the 1966 issue of World Book, And at the time, and I'll never forget this, it showed all denominations of bills. At one time, there was the United States issued bills as high as $100,000. You had $100, a $500, $1,000, a $10,000, and a $100,000 bill. And I remember we were at First National Bank of O'Fallon, Illinois one night, and we walked up to the teller. It's a Friday evening, and the guy was going through, and the guy says, have you ever seen a $500 bill? And he held it up, and I got to see a $500 bill at the bank. But they don't even issue those anymore. I think 100 is the highest. But I think it's the 1966 issue. It's in those pages.
Right. Yeah. You know, and of course you got microfilm, microfiche, all that stuff.
I forgot all about that
no,
stuff.
But we laugh about it. But at that time, that was big time. Instead of going through 500 magazines, you could go on the microfiche, and go. And so technology just advances, and you make adjustments to it. But the kids are just as smart as we were. It's just a different kind of smart, a different way they use it. I see it. I mean, the kids that get after it are very, very, very bright.
You bet.
And the world hasn't fallen apart yet, and so that means people still keep coming out with new innovations, and new ways to do things, and whether it's medical or engineering or whatever, to keep make life better, and we just have to keep pace with it best we can.
You bet. 746, more with Ron Czanstkowski, Mountain Public Schools, right after this. When you need durable and comfortable hospital scrub stat, you need the Uniform Shop. The Uniform Shop is the place for top quality uniforms, carrying a great selection of name brands including Carhartt, Cherokee, and Gray's Anatomy, as well as shoes from Clogs, Softwalk, and Landau, stethoscopes from Littman, blood pressure cuffs, scissors, name tag retractable, compression socks, paramedic BDUs, and Rocky boots. The Uniform Shop also offers customizing, embroidery, as well as minor alterations. Let us put you in uniforms. Shop the Uniform Shop.
The Party Spot venue and DJ service. Contact Tammy Reynolds for your next holiday or special event.
Take a step back in time when going to a barbershop meant more than just getting a haircut. Come into Legionnaire's Barbershop today, a unique gentleman barbershop. Get back in style from a former celebrity hairstylist and a licensed barber instructor who are trained in tonsorial arts and lock removal and happy to give you a straight razor shave. Legionnaire's Barbershop is veteran-owned and operated and located at 848 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. For a full, old-fashioned barbershop experience, stop by Legionnaire Barbershop today.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
Our old burger was only 7 ounces, but now it's 8 with brioche bun and pickles. Comes with its own steak knife, it's really that big. Your best competition is always yourself. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. We're focused on one thing, burgers, ribs, fajitas. Just that one thing, burgers, ribs, and fajitas. We're reeling in our menu because it got out of hand. We had a moment of self-actualization. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
It's that time of year again. Time to take a hard look at your Medicare health plan. If you're looking for a new plan or looking to renew your existing plan, now's the time to renew all your options. At VACO Insurance, we'll sit down with you and show you all the new choices and options, including $0 premium plans with low copays and dental, vision, and hearing benefits. Let us help take the confusion out of selecting a plan and find one catered to your needs. Contact VACO Insurance today, located at 351 East 9th Street, Suite B in Mountain Home.
$7.49, closing out the show, Ron Czanstkowski, Mountain Public Schools, and where the tradition of excellence continues, Mountain Public Schools. And, we've got some fine schools along the whole northern part of the state.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think you've got a caring spirit all throughout these schools from east to west along the
yes, sir.
state line.
We have students that try to school choice or transfer districts, and all the districts here are great. For a long way east and west, and even south of us, really good south of us too. So we don't have any problem helping people do what they think's best for their kids, because we know they're going to a, like you said, loving, caring environment that can get the job done for their kids.
So January 4th, 2019. We've got January, February, March. Hopefully hopefully it's just going to rain and not hit us with ice or snow like it did 10 years ago. But and I remember January, February, March, this was get down to business time. When you go back to school in August, you got a new teacher, new classroom, new supplies, new this, new that, and you think, well, by Labor Day and Columbus Day and Thanksgiving, it's just stair-stepping down to Christmas. You know what I'm trying to say here?
Right.
But I see January, February, March as the meat and potatoes part of the meal. This is where you get down to real academics in this part of the time frame.
Right. I don't think it's any different than the start of it, but mentally it is, but not actually.
Right now there's no foreseeable holiday where you're off for 2 weeks.
Right, but to be honest with you, the longest stretch of school without a break is from Labor Day to Thanksgiving.
Is it really?
But because it's new and fresh, and so it doesn't seem like that. But really, the longest stretch, if you count the days out, you have one day at Labor Day, and you have maybe a day in October where Teacher in-Service Day, maybe. Yeah. So you only have 2 days between 15th of August and the 20th of November.
Wow.
But it's new and fresh and lively, and new clothes and new classes, so it doesn't seem like that. But in January, February, March, that is where you have to make your hay, because you've learned the foundational material in all your classes. Now it's time to apply that knowledge and make sure it's driven deep into your psyche and brain, everything, to make sure you can recall that and apply it, in the right situations for those state exams. But not just for the exams. That's just one part of school. It's just so you can get ready for your next level of classes to further your improvement throughout the years of school.
And when you said test, I just have one of those flashbacks. I could do the homework and ace that stuff. And then you give me the test and I bomb it. How can we make sure, and I think it was a fear factor. What we had in math, in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, we had what was called a mastery test. Mm-hmm. And this was a little booklet about the size of my notebook page here. And you had like 5 problems here, then you opened it up and you had like 6 problems here and 6 problems here, and then you closed the back. It was almost like one of these, I can't touch anything but the little X here. It was just, it was, we were scared to death of these things.
Right.
And I think because of the style of the test, we had a fear of flunking, and I knew the material. But yet, I could do the homework, but I wasn't a good test taker. How do we correct that? Well, do you see that nowadays?
I think there's 2 things. My daughter is a college graduate from U of A. Kinesiology, a degree with a biology minor, very difficult stuff to go through. She's a horrible test taker.
Really?
Oh yeah, horrible. And she'll tell you, and it's just because of she freezes up on test day. But when she applies her knowledge in real life, she's fantastic. And so we just have to, and we do it with the kids. I mean, we first of all, we tell them the test is important, but it's only a snapshot of your abilities. They don't.
That's a good point.
It's maybe a 4-hour test throughout, for the entire year. That's going to tell us how good your kid is. That's not realistic. So the teachers do a good job, first off, of giving them what's called interim and formative assessments, which is smaller doses of the test throughout the school year, so they see the kind of questions, the kind of format, and those kind of things. A lot of times it's the format.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just give them, it's not we don't teach the test ever. It'd be a waste of the kids' time and our time. But it is important for them to know what game they're playing and what the game looks like and the rules to follow and all that. So those interim tests and the formative assessments that we do up to the summative test, which is the state exam, gets them ready and gets their comfort level back to where it's supposed to be. And we just, it's not new to them now like it was to us.
Well, what comes to mind, Ron, is I remember we were taking a science test one time, and my dad says, do you realize what I would do before test? I'd read the whole chapter again. He says, you don't have to read the whole chapter. He said, I want to show you something. He said, what's going to be on the test? I said, well, we're studying weather. Okay, look at these vocabulary words. You had like 9 words. And the test was multiple choice. The device used to measure wind speed is A, wind vane, B, anemometer, C, speedometer, D, none of the above. You got a 25% chance of getting it right just by guessing.
Right.
But if you study that vocabulary, that's all it was. Health and science and some of the stuff was nothing much more than vocabulary words.
Well, you've noticed the initiatives at the state level for grades K through 5, or what is it right now? Reading comprehension, right?
Yes.
Well, and it should be, and all the principals at the older buildings, like me last year when we were there talking, Dr. Long and Dr. Gigliotti said, "Hey guys, we're sorry that that we're focusing our efforts right now on the K5." But we said no, that's fine, because we know that by 3rd or 4th grade, that kid's future is already kind of in place right now.
And that was tough. Reading comp was tough.
No, we were all like, no, please put the literacy specialist and the dyslexia specialist and all that stuff, put them down early, get these kids the coping skills, the tools to fight the fight with it, all this stuff, and then if you can read, you can do anything you want to do, pretty much.
I think now in the classroom, there's more awareness from the instructor to say that child has trouble with reading comp. This person here, and let's say that you look at the letters C to K. You can spell cat, K-A-T, but it's incorrect. But then you look at C-A-T for cat, or C-H-U-R-C for church or chapel or something like that. There's different sounds, and I think they're taking more initiative now in a one-on-one approach.
Right. And even they're taking it as far as to keep my license as an administrator, I have to take a class on the science of reading.
Really?
Yes, science of statewide. Yes, teaching and coaching. There's two parts of it. There's a science part of it, and there's an artistic part of it. And I say artistic, I'm talking about the more. I can't grab it by my hands and all that. The science of doing math or reading or science. The teaching has a science to it. This works. This doesn't work. I mean, it's just really black and white. Coaching the same way, band directing the same way, but there are the nuances of the job of when to push, when to pull, when to back off, when to praise, when to chew them out. So you have to balance the two together. And the teachers have gotten so much more information on the science side of it, about learning how to teach X or learning how to teach Y, whatever it might be. But then they also have had a lot of time to get better, much better at the more. I say the artistic side, but it is the more.
The artistic side would be how you have developed from the science point and how you can develop personally as a teacher.
How you actually can apply it and know when to use it. I guess your savviness might be a better word.
Right,
You have the savviness, the timing of when to do things. So I think that plays into it. And
I remember trying to teach him how to cut an audio commercial. Radio.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was very simple. Click, 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 click. I was done. He says, "Well, you slow down."
Right.
I will say this: he makes a terrible teacher. Very terrible teacher.
You can be
it takes talent.
You can be really smart and not teach well. And you can be very average intelligence and be a fantastic teacher, because you can inspire people to want to be better, to want to learn, to want to grow.
That's a good word, inspire. I never thought of that. That's good.
It's about how you interact and relate to those kids. I mean, and it pertains to sports as much as the academic side. When I'm coaching youth, I can't coach the same way that I'm coaching high school. They just won't get it. They won't accept it the same way. They won't, you got to do things a little bit different.
So you take the high school on a more adult level?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And you can talk to them different. You can interact with them different. Where the youth take stuff more personal and more, you got to, they just haven't developed yet, and you just got to attack it a little bit different. Same thing in school. I'm sure different grades, they got to teach a little different, and how they go after things and how they interact with those kids. It's got to be on a different level than kids that are older.
So basically, we inspire enough. Arkansas could actually beat Alabama in 2019.
Anybody's beatable.
I mean, the fear factor. I mean, and I think you're doing it. I think, Mountain Public Schools does a great job. You can do this.
Right.
You can do this.
I've never seen a teacher or any educator discourage a kid from doing something that they really could do.
Yeah. And that's why I say the tradition of excellence continues Mountain Public Schools, and but all across the northern part of the state.
Sure.
We can go to Fayetteville, to Harrison, to Yellville. Great things happening in Yellville. We've got some fine schools.
I interact with the schools in about a 100-mile radius, and even southern Missouri. We're a very blessed bunch of people to live in the area that we have access to good education.
Hey, thanks for being here. Really good discussion today. Ron Czanstkowski, Mountain Public Schools. The tradition of excellence continues, and reminder that the school bus will be out and about this afternoon. So remember the safety factors there. No cell phone use in car lines. It's a state law.
State law.
And with that, we're going to wish you a happy weekend. Enjoy the rain. We'll be back on Monday.